Man's best friend makes an excellent party member. A dog's loyalty and utility has been demonstrated in games for decades. When we were deliberating, it was difficult to consider regular, four-paws-on-the-floor dogs next to their charismatic, anthropomorphic relatives. So we went with dogs that can't wear suits or play guitar. One of these is perpetually on fire and another is a robot, but they still represent the ferociousness or the devotion that we expect from our canine companions. Shadow, the ninja of Final Fantasy VI, is certainly the loner of the group, rarely speaking and abruptly leaving the party when you least expect it. However, his trusty companion Interceptor is always at his side. In battle, Interceptor protects his master, deflecting enemy blows and counter-attacking with a powerful takedown or the even more vicious Wild Fang. Shadow's high mercenary fees are largely to pay for prime dog food, and when the client can't pay up, it's also rumored that the dog eats strangers. Jack Slate wishes he was Max Payne. He's a generic cop that wields two pistols and dives around like he's in a John Woo movie. The real star of the Dead to Rights franchise is his loyal canine partner Shadow. When the odds are stacked against Jack, he can summon Shadow to savagely mutilate his enemies and retrieve their weapons. It wasn't until Dead to Rights Retribution that we finally took control of Shadow, usually in circumstances to defend a wounded Jack. His attacks are brutal and empowering. We'd play a game that starred this hero cop exclusively. Inspired by the dog that once accompanied the great Max Rockatansky, Dogmeat is a staple of the Fallout series. Introduced in the original game, Dogmeat has been a stalwart companion, or cameo at the very least, in several Fallouts since. Dogmeat even makes a few appearances in games outside the series like Arcanum and The Bard's Tale. Dogmeat's lasting impression only goes to prove that you really do need a friend at the end of the world. The world of Bloodborne is filled with disgusting creatures. Deep beneath the city lie the Chalice Dungeons, home to one of Bloodborne's most fearsome foes, the Watchdog of the Old Lords, a fierce hellhound of flame and lava. The beast's flesh is so deeply seared by its own flames that large portions of its skin are missing. Her defiled Chalice encounter is one of the hardest bosses in the game. She can easily one-shot the player. Watchdog is the only dog on this list that's our enemy, but we respect it too much to not include it. Dubbed the best nose of the British Empire, it's no surprise that when Sherlock requires a sleuth with an aptitude for scent, he turns to Toby, his faithful bloodhound and the pooch prodigy of Sherlock Holmes' Crimes and Punishments and the Testament of Sherlock Holmes. There isn't a clue or lead that Toby can't sniff out as he traces footsteps, unearths bones, and does the dirty work that dogs do best. Admittedly roly-poly and a little slow, Toby is arguably the derpiest dog on this list, but what he lacks in magnificence or savagery, he makes up for with his dedication to his work. And Sherlock makes sure to reward him handsomely with a scratch on the head, some words of praise, and a place of honor at the bay window on Baker Street.
Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
From the moment we saw Valiant Heart's first trailer, this is the dog we all assumed the developers would kill at the end just to make us cry. Reverse spoiler alert, that never happens. Walt is not just your regular charming pooch who wags his tail when you pat his head. He's a true war hero. He's an expert at solving strangely intricate environmental puzzles, he braves perilous, freaky World War I tunnels, and he has his own cute little gas mask. He's the glue that holds the game's story together, and the best buddy a soldier could have. First introduced in Mega Man 3, Rush has served as Mega Man's companion in several games. Like his master, Rush is a robot with a few special tricks that set him apart. Rush can transform into a coil, a hoverboard, submarine, and in Mega Man 6 he can fuse with Mega Man to create the Power Mega Man. Despite his robotic frame, Rush still looks and acts like a dog, and is faithful to Mega Man like all the other proud pooches on the list. Missile from Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is an energetic, adorable Pomeranian capable of winning you over in a matter of seconds. Even in dire circumstances, Missile never loses his enthusiasm, just one of the many affable qualities that make him so endearing. Yet it's more than canine charisma that lands him a top 3 slot. Missile uses his supernatural abilities to save the lives of those he cares about. He's not merely a sidekick that offers occasional benefits to the player, he's instrumental to the plot, making him more meaningful than most other video game dogs. Grand Theft Auto V made headlines by having 3 playable protagonists, but you can call in 4 members of your team when you have Chop. After Franklin inherits the trustworthy Rottweiler, he can follow you on missions and hang out with your friends. You can train him further with the iFruit app for smartphones, or he'll do his business wherever he wants. Chop is just one element of a sprawling game, but he's one of the most loyal interpretations we've ever seen of a traditional, playful, stay-at-home dog. Perhaps the best example of a loyal companion is Metal Gear Solid 5's Ddog. Adopted straight from the battlefield as a one-eyed pup, this diamond dog spent his days training as a soldier under Revolver Ocelot. While his abilities to sniff out enemies and weapons from afar or lure unsuspecting soldiers to their doom are invaluable, there are just so few things as badass as seeing him equip a knife and fearlessly rush into battle, stunning soldiers and slitting throats. Surrounded by betrayal, violence, and deceit, trust is hard to come by for Big Boss. For this reason, Ddog really is a snake's best friend, a true diamond in the rough.
Let me suffer now and never die. I'm
Tabletop Adventures returns after a long break, building toward the upcoming season finale. And Wii U owners rejoice, one of the year's best games on the system has arrived, Super Mario Maker. See what you make of it in our full review. We'll see you next week for another GT Countdown.